Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're so glad to welcome you as part of our community tonight. Please note that this webinar is being recorded live streamed. By entering this virtual meeting room, you give your consent to be recorded and distributed by Vienna Live with Simeon Moore and other third parties. If you wish to not be recorded, please go to the LinkedIn live video feed, the link to which I've just placed in the chat room. Tonight, our featured guest is baritone Kenneth Overton, whose new Navona Records album, The Living Spiritual, will be the subject of tonight's conversation.
I have heard of a city called heaven, and I've started to make it my home. My home, my home, my
Welcome, Kenneth.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me, Simeon. It's great to be here.
Kenneth, so tell us a little bit about yourself, where you come from, how your musical tastes were formed, and the moment you decided to become a professional singer.
Well, I grew up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I am the oldest of three kids, and nobody else in my family sings at all. So when this came about, it was a surprise not only to me, but to my entire family. I went to a performing arts high school, the Philadelphia High School for Creative and Performing Arts. And I went there with the idea that it would be very similar to the television show Fame. And to my surprise, it was not. But there was where I was exposed to classical music for the first time, or I would say seriously, because my only other exposure to classical music was through the brilliant and the incredible Bugs Bunny. Um, he was my only source of what classical music was. But I had an incredible choir director, the late great David King Jr., who exposed us to classical music through choral music and also through symphonic music. He would take us to afternoon rehearsals of the Philadelphia Orchestra, and that was back when Riccardo Muti was the music director. And we would walk over from school with our brown bag lunches, and we would get to watch him rehearse one of the greatest orchestras in the world. And at 14 years old, I did not realize the privilege that that was. And so that opened my eyes to classical music. And then he took us all to a recital of the great Jesse Norman. And that was when my life sort of changed. And he said to me that if you work really hard, that is something that you could do. And I believed him, and he was right.
Well, what was that like? What was so incredible about seeing Jesse Norman?
So up until that point, I had never seen anyone who looked like me singing classical music. And I remember the evening like it was yesterday. It was a Thursday night, and I remember not being excited about going because I had to miss a new episode of The Cosby Show. The Cosby Show was iconic back then. And Thursday nights was when new episodes came on. And so I went begrudgingly, and he sort of made it mandatory for all of us to go. And I saw all these people arriving in limousines, and they were in their fur coats and tuxedos and gowns and all of that. And our choir, we were up in the cheap seats, and the Academy of Music was packed to capacity. And then out came this woman who was so beautiful, so regal, with just her pianist and a gorgeous Steinway in the middle of the stage. And for 2 hours, she had all 3,000 of us in the palm of her hands. And I didn't understand a word of the French and German songs that she was singing, but I understood the power and I felt the power of music and what she was able to do with her voice. And I just remember being stunned by that. And for a couple of her encores, she sang spirituals. And one of them was Deep River, which was arranged by Harry T. Burley. And I was so moved by it that I asked my choir director to teach it to me. And so that was the first spiritual I ever learned. And I used it as one of the pieces for my college auditions. And it helped me get into all five conservatories that I went out for. So, going from not knowing what classical music was to sort of being bitten by the bug in a very ferocious way, it turned out pretty great.
Incredible. We're going to learn more about the significance of the spirituals and what they are. Let's listen to our next excerpt. This is Plenty Good Room, arranged by Rosephine Powell.
Plenty good room, plenty good room in my Father's kingdom. Plenty good room. Why don't you choose your seat and sit down? Yes, there's plenty good room in my Father's kingdom. Plenty good room. Why don't you choose your seat and sit down? I would not be a liar. I'll tell you the reason why. 'Cause if my Lord should call me, I wouldn't be ready to die. Yes, plenty good room in my Father's kingdom. Plenty good room. Why don't you choose your seat and sit down? I would not be a backslider. I'll tell you the reason why. 'Cause if my Lord should call me, I wouldn't be ready to die. Yes, good room in my Father's kingdom. Plenty good room. Why don't you choose your seat and sit down? Yes,
Wow. Well, that is already on my list of favorites. Tell us now about the spiritual and about this amazing genre that you got introduced to by Jesse Norman and then brought you to these entrance, got you entrance to these conservatories. Now you've made this album, The Living Spiritual. What's it all about?
Wow. So, back in the height of the pandemic was when this idea came to me to make this particular album. Spirituals have always been sort of during my professional career, a very important part of my recital programming and also of my recording. The first recording I did 13 or 14 years ago, half of the selections are spirituals as well. But they are, for me, sort of the foundation of American music. They were uh, born out of sort of an atrocious time in history. And through that time of survival came this gorgeous, beautiful art form. And so I wanted to not only celebrate the spiritual, but celebrate them through composers who are African American and that are all still alive. And actually, they're all 22 of the 23 are still alive. We unfortunately just lost Jacqueline B. Hairston a short time ago, but while I was recording and when it was released, they were all still with us. So it was important to me to help to preserve this art form through the voices of people who are still writing music today, so that this incredible genre continues to live on.
And they, I mean, this is what's especially unique about this album, that you went to these different composers, asked them to arrange these melodies. So how did they respond? And when you heard their arrangements, did you guys work together? Was it easy? Was it tough?
All of the above. So, just dealing with 23 different composers is a feat unto itself. But only 8 of them were commissions that were written specifically for me and for this project. The other 15 are arrangements in their existing catalogs that I just happen to love. And so I just needed to be granted permission to record them. But dealing with the curation of the project and recording the project and putting it all together, it took the better part of 4 years to do. Some of it was easy. Some of it, fortunately, the composers are friends of mine, we're colleagues, and so they know my voice, they know my vocal range and vocal tendencies, and we talked about what I liked, what I didn't like, and the specific ranges of the selections, whether I wanted up tempo or slow, and then trying to assign who would do what, and we got some magic.
Magic is, I think, the perfect way to put it. Let's have it listen to our next track. This is Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, and it is arranged by Jasmine Ariel Barnes.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. If you get there before I do, coming for to carry me home. Tell all my friends I'm a coming to. Coming for to carry me home. Coming for to carry me home. I'm sometimes.
Tell us, I know we spoke about the composers. As you said, you were originally inspired by Jesse Norman keeping an audience of 3,000 people in the palm of her hand for 2 hours. The voice is simply, I mean, there's nothing like it. So now you decided to work with these, you had it arranged for piano and also strings working with you. Tell us how did you pick these musicians, knowing, okay, well, what I do, I mean, is just it's so extraordinary. All the violinists, pianists, even, they want to sound like you. They want to be singing. They want to have a great voice. What do you look for in a musician? What inspires you? How'd you pick these ones?
Yeah, so I chose my collaborative pianist, Elizabeth Hill. She is an incredible musician and a beautiful human being. That's what I look for first. Are you a great person? And then the musicianship as well. And Liz and I had worked together before on a larger project where she was a rehearsal pianist for an incredible work by Adolphus Hailstork. And we just clicked and hit it off immediately. And I knew that I wanted an African American pianist, and if I could, to have a female pianist. That was one of the things that was on my wish list. And she's also both of those things, and she's brilliant. In regards to the strings, those were chosen by my executive producer of the album, Dr. Everett McCorvey. He is the founder and director of the American Spiritual Ensemble, which is the organization that produced this project, but he's also the endowed chair of the voice and opera program at the University of Kentucky. And so he chose the four string players who are all first chair in the orchestra at University of Kentucky to come in and play this for me. And so Liz and I flew to Kentucky, to Lexington, Kentucky, and we recorded it with them, all three arrangements with strings all in one day. So that's how that happened.
Wow. And then it says also the doctor he's performing on djembe. Can you tell us about that instrument?
Yes, it's a traditional African drum that he is playing on the spoken word excerpts on the album. So I had commissioned by a dear friend of mine who's a wonderful singer, but he's also an incredible poet and writer. His name is Nathaniel E. Thompson. And I said, hey, I wanted to get three short spoken word excerpts to sort of tie the album together. And then when he sent me the text, I was so moved by them. I said, these should be sort of accompanied by a djembe. And Dr. McCorby graciously agreed to play that. We recorded those as well at the same time. So that was a lot of fun. I think it adds a lot of ambiance and sort of puts us in the mood for the album.
Wow. Okay. So we're gonna we don't have time to unfortunately to play these spoken parts, but I'll show everyone how to get the album at the end of the interview, and then you can listen to them yourself. And we'll continue. There's so much to talk about. Let's listen to our next track. This is Lil David, arranged by Evelyn Simpson Currington.
Little David, play on your harp. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Little David, play on your harp. Hallelujah. Joshua was the son of Nun. He never would quit till his work was done. Lil David, play on your harp. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Lil David, play on your harp. Hallelujah. Lil David, play on your harp. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Lil David, play on your harp. Hallelujah. Done told you once, done told you twice. There's sinners in hell for shooting dice. Lil David, play on your harp. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Lil David, play on your harp. Hallelujah. Lil David, play on your harp. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Lil David, play on your harp. Hallelujah. Play on your harp. Play on your harp. Lil David, play hallelujah. Little David, play on your harp, hallelujah, hallelujah. Little David, play on your harp, hallelujah.
This brings us to the philosophical part of our conversation. Quote, this collection of 23 Negro spirituals provides listeners another opportunity to engage with a culturally unique art form born from the oral traditions passed from one enslaved generation to the next from the 17th century until the 1860s. These oral traditions translated into song and their lyrics published in printed form following emancipation would eventually become the cornerstone of all American music. End quote. If a group of fourth and fifth grade elementary students would join us here today, Kenneth, how would you explain the Negro spiritual to them?
Well, the Negro spirituals were, like I mentioned earlier, born out of a very tough time in our nation's history, actually in global history. But one of the things that I found incredibly interesting was that of the 3,000 spiritual melodies that we have cataloged at our disposal, just none of them, absolutely none of them, speak about hate or revenge or retribution. And I think that is something extremely powerful for people who are going through so much, that they created something so beautiful and never once talked about hate. The spirituals also were ways of getting through the day, ways of praying, ways of staying inspired, ways of jubilation and triumph. The spirituals are songs that I remember growing up hearing in church. They are sung on concert stages all over the world, and they're still being arranged and written today. And so I would tell young people that spirituals are for everybody. They're not just for African Americans, they are for everybody. So embrace them, encourage your high school choirs to sing them, encourage your church choirs to sing them. And if you become a solo singer in your future, program them as well. They are America's history, and it's one of the only few American genres that America can claim that it is all its own. And we give thanks to composers like Antonin Dvorak, who was sort of the catalyst for bringing the spirituals to the forefront by teaching newly freed African Americans the art of composition because they were passed down through the oral tradition. He didn't want them to get lost or for the melodies to be watered down. And so he took students under his tutelage at the New School of Music to teach them the art of composition. And so through that, we've been able to preserve all of these melodies. And so the only way for them to continue is for the young people to pick them up and sing them and share them forever and ever.
Let's have a listen to our final track. This is Little Light of Mine by Jacqueline B. Hairston.
Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
Lovely. Are there any questions? Would anyone like to jump in here and ask something or converse with Kenneth? Okay. Okay, then. Last question is to me, what do you wish all of us, Kenneth, when we listen to this album, experience this, a living spiritual, what would you like us to take away from this experience?
Wow. That spirituals are for everybody, and that everybody can enjoy them, preserve them, celebrate them. And it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what you look like. They are for everybody. And I hope that this album also encourages people to embrace new and living composers. And that they get more opportunities to write and share their gifts across the musical canon.
Let's see how we can get the album. It's easy enough. It's at navonarecords.com. So when you get to navonarecords.com, then you can just type in Overton or Kenneth if you like, and then it comes up right there. There we see his profile and the Living Spiritual, and you can listen to it, stream it on, watch it on YouTube, stream it or buy it. There's all the information about these fantastic spirituals. All available there at navonarecords.com. And if we'd like to stay in touch with Kenneth, it's easy enough. It's kennethoverton.com. And then, Kenneth, if people would like to come to your concerts or reach out to you about anything, can they reach out under contact?
Yes, they can reach out under contact, or you can contact me on my Instagram handle at Kenny the Overton, and also on my Facebook page, which is Kenneth Overton Baritone.
Perfect. So feel free to reach out to Kenneth. He's looking forward to hearing your questions, answering your questions, hearing your comments. Thank you so very much to Kenneth Overton.
Thanks for having me.
And before we go, I'd like to bring your attention to Vienna Live's website, where all information can be found about the show. It's www.simeonmore.com. And while you're there, I'd like to bring your attention to our sponsorship campaign that's going on. For $5 a month, you will receive one Vienna Live Celebrates 5 years mug. For $10 a month, you will receive one Vienna Live Celebrates 5 years mug and one Vienna Live City tote bag. There's also no minimum sponsorship amount. If you click one-time payment custom, then you can enter any amount of sponsorship you like with no minimum. All sponsorships ensure that Vienna Live can continue to operate as a free classical music public service. And coming up this Friday, exceptionally, we have David Haney, The Waters of Non-Existence. On the Waters of Non-Existence, composer and storyteller David Haney draws on ancient Hindu mythology to craft a contemporary meditation on memory, meaning, and transformation. Inspired by myths and symbols in Indian art and civilization and texts from the Brahma Varita Purana, Haney reimagines timeless cautionary tales within a modern New York setting, blending narration and music as equal partners. These works reflect his years as a resident storyteller at the Public Theater, where the emotional resonance of story and sound converge to stir memory, provoke reflection, and illuminate enduring truths. That's this Friday. David Haney, The Waters of Non-Existence, and all information about upcoming shows may be found at www.simeonmore.com. Once again, thank you so very much to Kenneth Overton. Thank you to Vienna Live's corporate and individual sponsors. Your sponsorship allows Vienna Live to continue to operate as a free public music service. Thanks very much to my cousin Mike, a marketer from Layer App. If you're an architect or an engineer, they have really cool tools you should check out. And of course, most of all, thanks to you, our participants who make it all worthwhile. From New York City, New York, and Washington, D.C., goodbye, and see you on Friday.
Bye.